one drop email I sent out for this brand brought in over 4,000 euros in revenue and 9 sales, okay? This was all done with no new ad spend, no new customers, and really it was just all done with the email list they already had and they were building for the last bit. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys exactly how we can set this up for your brand. And if you're a brand owner, good news for you. Basically, this setup doesn't take super long to set up, and it has a really good ROI. So if you guys stick around for the entire video, this is going to be a full walkthrough on how you can get sales like this for your brand and how you guys can really grow with email. So you're going to want to start off by going to Klaviyo, and one thing I want to say is the sooner you can get this set up, the better. Let's say you have a drop in 2 months. The goal here is to collect as many emails as possible before those 2 months come, okay? And when drop day does come, your email is going to go through the roof. So you're going to want to go to Klaviyo and you're going to want to go to sign up. I already have an account and everything, but this is the part you got to do. And if you already have an account, perfect. And I'll see you on here. So for Klaviyo's pricing, it starts off with a free plan, and as your list grows and the more emails you're sending every month, you're basically going to be charged more. Really, if you have a good setup, the more money you're paying to Klaviyo, the more you're going to be making, so it's a good sign. The first thing we're going to be doing is the pop-up. The pop-up is super simple. Most brands, get this wrong, most brands have a pop-up and their submit rate is around 3 to 5%, which is super low. What we want to do is we want to double that. We want to be close to around 10%, and what this does is it's going to allow us to collect about double the amount of emails as other brands, okay? And this is going to mean we can have way more revenue coming in through email. So you can start by choosing any one that you really want to start with, I guess. I typically like to go with this one right here. You can just name it email pop-up. Simple, right? Okay, from there you want to choose one of your lists. So for this list, I'm just going to do email list, right? Once you're in the form, it's pretty simple. You have your mobile and you have your desktop, okay? We're going to start off with desktop. So what you can do here is you can give a discount away, okay? The discount is pretty simple. You can do 10% off. The email pop-ups are pretty simple. They're pretty much drag and drop, and you can chuck your text in and your photos as well, okay? And basically there's certain things that let you get a higher conversion rate. So it's kind of like a conversion hack. So you see this X in the top right? What we want to do, people are so used to clicking the X, okay? The second they see an X, they click it, because whenever they get a pop-up, they pretty much decline it. So what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the X fully, okay? We're just going to set the size to 1, and you can't even see it here, okay? So once the X is gone, we need another way for the person to get off of the pop-up, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to add in a text box underneath the continue button, and this is basically going to be their way to opt out. And in this text, we're simply going to say either no thanks or no thanks, not a fan of saving. It's going to have them read the actual pop-up, okay? It's just going to lead to higher conversion, all right? So save on your first order and get email offers. I'm going to say something different. I'm going to say you then want to add in a photo. I'm just adding a random photo of a brand I'm working with. So here is what I have. This literally took 2 minutes of my time, and this pop-up would probably convert at around 7% right here. You can also add your logo in right here and change the text around, okay? Now you want to do the same thing for mobile and simply want it to look very nice. From there, you want to add another step, basically the success page. So thanks for signing up. You can just say check your inbox for a welcome email and another photo of your brand. So you guys can see how simple the pop-up is, and if this is something you're not doing, you really got to get on this, because not having a pop-up, the difference between not having a pop-up and having one is literally 5 minutes of your time, and it's going to have a huge ROI because you're going to be collecting emails for the next few months or the next years, however long you have the brand. One thing I want to show about the pop-up right now, let's say you have 2 brands. One brand has a 5%, here I can't really write really good with this, a 5% converting pop-up, 5% submit rate. We're going to submit rate, okay? So the first brand has 5% submit rate, and then brand 2 has a 10% submit rate, all right? The difference between the submit rates is going to be double the emails, okay? So brand 1 collects let's say 1,000 emails. Brand 2 collects 2,000 emails. And this is going to lead to double the revenue. Let's say this comes out with 4 sales. Then you guys see the point. This one's going to come out with 8 sales, okay? So it's going to be double the revenue, and this can go to the extreme. Let's say you have 50,000 people on your list. You're getting 100 sales. The other email is going to get 200 sales, and the difference is going to be thousands and thousands in revenue. Okay, so next up is the welcome flow. Now there's a lot of flows here. Don't let it intimidate you. We're only going over the welcome flow today, and the reason for this is because as soon as someone gets your pop-up, you want to send them an automatic email, and it's basically welcoming them to the brand, giving them their discount, and introducing yourself, okay? If you don't have a welcome flow set up, it's going to kind of screw you over because people haven't seen your brand yet, and when you do email them about your drop, it's going to lead to high unsubscribe rates because people aren't used to your brand. If you're in their inbox all the time, it's going to be a lot better than if you're just randomly in there one day. Okay, so let's go to the welcome flow now. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to create a flow. From here, you're going to want to build your own. Just going to name it welcome flow. And for tags, you're going to want to have no tags, okay? Now we're going to go create flow. So welcome flow is super simple to create. So you're going to want to add in some metrics. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to have the metric as subscribe to email marketing and no re-entry. So when someone subscribes to email marketing is when this flow is going to trigger. So next up, you're going to want to send an email right away. No timestamp in between. Okay, this is where you do your subject line. This is where you do your preview text. And to actually edit the email, you're going to want to go to select templates, and you can have templates in here. Email design is going to be in a different video, and I want you guys to watch this video first, and we'll go about email design second. So for the welcome flow, basically you're going to want to have email 1 go right away, okay? And then you're going to want to have a time delay, and you guys can see how super simple this is. Klaviyo has it set up, so you can literally do it without even having a tutorial like this. But you're going to wait one day, you're going to send another email. So maybe you want to only have 2 emails in the welcome flow, okay? The first one can literally say, welcome to the brand, we're happy to have you here. I want you to feel like you're part of the community. Give them their discount. If your site's closed, if you're one of these brands that has a closed site, you can still send them to your socials and you can say welcome, all right? You can also show products off in these. Be creative. For the campaign structure, this is super important as well, and I'm going to explain to you guys quickly. So let's say this is your drop day, okay? Let's say this is drop. If I can write this good. So your drop is on the 31st, and you want to send an email on your drop day, of course, because when you open your drop, you're going to want to try to maximize sales. So you send an email when this opens. You're also going to want to send this, as long as you send a few emails before, you should be good, but it depends how much time you want to put into email marketing. If you're one of those people who want to always be sending emails, that is perfect. That's going to lead to good sales and everything. And you go right ahead. So you can send an email here, you can send an email here, you can send an email here, okay? Now, if you don't want to always be sending campaigns and it's too time consuming, what you can do is you can not send emails here. What you can do, you can send emails just like 3 days before the drop. So maybe you send one right here and you kind of announce that there's a drop on Friday. And what this does is it also builds hype as well. So if you send one here, here, and here, this is basically going to build hype, and the people are going to know the drop is coming. They're going to check the products out, and it's basically just going to get them ready. So what most brands do is most brands just go silent and they just send an email on drop day. They might not even have a welcome flow set up at all. So why this is bad is because people could sign up to the list 2 months ago, and their first email they're getting is 2 months later, and they're going to forget the brand. There's going to be no interest. But let's say that they sign up to the list here, and you're sending them emails all through the month. They're going to be ready, and they're going to know what's going on, and if they don't like the brand, they're going to unsubscribe throughout the way. That's fine. People can do that. But yeah, this is going to get them ready for the drop. So if we go to campaigns here, campaigns are super simple as well. They're even easier than the welcome flow. Campaigns, you basically want to go create campaign, name your campaign. Let's say it's a drop campaign. Name it drop campaign, select your date. So if it's today, that's fine. If it's ahead, select the date and the time, and email, of course. You want to hit continue. Now, for your list, this is just a bunch of stuff on here. You're going to want to do your email list from the pop-up email list right here. Bam. Okay. And smart sending, if it's the thing about smart sending, let's say you have the welcome flow on. Let's say somebody got the welcome flow 5 hours earlier and they opened the email. If this setting is turned on, they basically won't be able to get the email. If it's a drop email, if it's an important email that you want them to see, I would turn this off. If it's other emails, I'd turn it on. So you want to hit next, and this is the design part. Now, you want to create it from scratch, of course. I didn't really explain this in the welcome emails, but for the design part, what you want to do is you can add in your images, you can add in text and stuff. I'm not going over this in this video. Okay, and for results, I kind of want to show you guys how much money this can actually bring in for your brand. So right here we have some campaigns, and you can see we're consistently sending campaigns. So March 13th, March 14th, March 15th, 19th, 24th, 26th, 29th, 31st. So we're sending all through March. And what this does is this builds a engaged list. You can see each of these emails is getting super high open rates, and each email is pretty much averaging probably close to 200 euros per sale. All right. We also have another brand here. This brand is a bit different just because they're selling higher or more expensive pieces, but we're consistently sending, right? And each email, this is a drop email here. So this email is also down here, right here. This email was sent to the entire list, and it brought in 4,000 euros. And when you're sending to your entire list, you'll generally see a bit lower open rates. That's because you're not sending to an engaged segment. We also have another brand here. So this wasn't a drop email. This was a cleared email. So we're trying to get rid of old products. You can see high open rates. 6,000 people opened the email. Decent, an okay click rate, but the email brought in 6 sales, making close to 500 euros. And that's just one email. It took me probably 15 minutes to make, and it went super strong. Now, you'll see, depending on your brand, certain brands can have a lot more coming in through email than others. What you want to look at is the percent. This brand right here is at a percent of 40% attributed revenue. This is super important because you want to be at 30 to 40% attributed revenue. That's a strong point. It's not about the money, it's about the percent. Email is going to allow you to grow if you can sit at a strong percent. 20% is coming from campaigns, 80% from flows. So that's another thing I didn't even really touch in this video. Flows are super important, and campaigns are important as well, but flows are more important. So if you want your Klaviyo screen to look like this, we're sitting right here, we're sitting at 40% attributed revenue, and you want to be at about 40 to 30% attributed revenue. That's the strong point. The number doesn't so much matter, but the percent does, okay? And what this does when you're at this amount is it's going to allow you to grow. You're not going to be able to get to 40% attributed revenue from just what I showed you today. You can see here 80% of the revenue has come from flows. So stuff like the cart abandonment flow, the welcome flow, the checkout abandonment flow, the site abandonment flow. There's all kinds of flows that you can set up, and that's how you get so much revenue coming in from flows. You can see for the month, only 1,700 euros came in for this brand from campaigns, which is still good, comparing they only have 20,000 euros per month revenue, but it is definitely not close to flows. So that is the entire breakdown of today. So you want to have your pop-up set up, you're going to want to be sending campaigns for the drop, and you're also going to want to have your welcome email set up. Those 3 things will get you pretty far with email, but they won't get you this far to get this amount of revenue coming in. In order to get that much, you got to have all the flows set up and properly have good converting emails. So if you have a clothing brand and you don't want to put all your time into designing emails and setting up the Klaviyo account, book a call in with me and I will set everything up for you, and I'll do it for a decent price that works for me, and I'm sure you'll have a really good ROI still at the end of the day.